All right, so we're now on lesson 1.2.1. We're recognizing patterns and sequences. So we have vocabulary words, and let's get started. Once again, I want you to remember that when you are writing these words, you need to think about what they actually mean and not just blindly write the words down, okay? So with that being said, let's talk about sequence. Sequence is a pattern involving an ordered arrangement of numbers geometric figures letters or other objects. So in other words, it's a pattern of things, okay? A pattern of things. All right, next, let's talk about the terms of a sequence. Term of a sequence is an individual number, figure, or letter in the sequence. Okay. And I'll explain what that means in like number 1 and 2 later, but right now let's finish writing the vocabulary first. An infinite sequence is a sequence that continues on forever. Oops, that looks weird. There we go. A sequence that continues on forever. And the opposite of that is a finite sequence, which is a sequence that terminates, which just means ends, okay? A sequence that ends, a sequence that stops. And if you know Spanish, then maybe you know this word, which means to like stop or end, is related to that. So a finite sequence ends, it stops, it terminates. Okay. So with those definitions in mind, let's take a look at these patterns. We're going to draw the next 2 figures in the pattern. So these patterns that they show us are sequences because it's a pattern involving geometric figures or a pattern involving pictures. It is a pattern, so it is a sequence. Now, how would we describe what's happening over here? So for number 1, the way I would describe number 1 is like that the last dots on the end, the last dot on the end gets taken away. If you take those away, you end up with the next picture. Then if you take those last dots away, you end up with the next picture. So I would describe this as take away the last dot from each of the 4 sides. That's how I would describe it. Now, if you have another way that you would like to describe it, that's totally fine too. I want you to be creative in this class, you know. Math doesn't always have to be one way. There's multiple ways to do every problem. So if you have your own way of saying this, totally okay, go for it. Okay? And after that, we want to draw the next 2 figures in the pattern. So for example, over here, I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots on each leg. 6 dots on each leg plus the center dot. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has 1, 2, 3. What do you think the next one will be? All right, you're probably silent, but you're probably thinking it. The center dot and 2 more on each side. So there we go, that's our next picture. And so if this one has 2, what do you think the last one will be? Great, you're probably still silent, but you're still thinking it. There's a center dot plus 1 on each side. There's just 1. Great. Okay, so that's it for number 1. We're just describing it in words and then drawing the next figures. Let's think about number 2. So now I'm gonna pause the video and let you guys try it out, and then we'll come back together in a little bit. All right, so now we're unpaused. I want you to think about how you would describe what's happening in number 2. So I'm sure since I give you guys some time, you guys probably all came up with different ways of talking about it, but the way I see it is you take away 1 row and 1 column from the box. Take away 1 row and 1 column. Take away 1 row, take away 1 column, take away 1 row, take away 1 column. And so that's how I'm going to describe it. Take away 1 row and 1 column. So if you described it in a different way, that's totally fine. Leave your description there, okay? So let's draw the next one. So this one was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 by 7. This one's 6 by 6, 5 by 5, 4 by 4. What do you think the next one will be? 3 by 3, good. I know, I didn't even give you a chance to respond, huh? But this is a video, that's why I don't really know how else to do it. 3 by 3. And then the next one should be 2 by 2. So if you drew your 3 by 3 and your 2 by 2, I know you know what's going on, so you got it. If you didn't, that's okay. There's always next time, and we're gonna keep trying with the rest of the problems. So now it's up to you guys to ask questions if you're confused. Please let me know, okay? Good luck.